and welcome, my dear friends, to my first vigil since being away. But that's not to say that my heart wasn't with your heart at midnight from that beautiful sacred island of Mull and Iona, where we held each other in prayer. And for those who've logged in or not logged in, and who are wondering who this strange character is, I'm Brother Sean, and I'm proud to be a member of the Teo community of Interfaith Franciscans, brothers and sisters from different beliefs who come together and to embrace the divine in all faiths, of all faiths on this beautiful earth plane. Let us just begin for a moment by just gathering our thoughts and by reminding ourselves, who am I? Who am I really? Am I the real person that God created? Or am I a step-in for the real me? In other words, am I pretending? Am I pretending? Well, first, let us light our candle, because our purpose of being here is to hold all brothers and sisters from all faiths for peace. So let us now light our candle and to thank our beloved Earth Mother Gaia, and to thank our Heavenly Mother Mary, to thank the Ascended Masters, and especially the angelic realm, and not forgetting the archangels, whose feast day it was yesterday, Sunday, the 29th of September. So we light this light in the name of our beloved Father, Mother, God Supreme, who creates life, in the name of the risen cosmic Christ, who loves life, in the name of the Spirit, who is the fire of life, in the name of Gaia, our beloved Earth Mother, who nurtures the divine in all life, in the name of all faith traditions, for they too are the children of God, and in the name of spiritual diversity, on behalf of our brothers and sisters of the Teo community of Interfaith Franciscans, I welcome you to our table, where all are one, where all are equal, and where all are loved. And this simple flame is a token of all our love to our Father, Mother, God, who created you and me in love. So let us embrace that love. Let us stop pretending. Let us come into our real self, our true self, that self that is heart-centered, that divine self that is listening now to the voice of God, speaking to us the truth of the divine. So let us relax and let us just be still and know that we are loved. Can you hear the silence? Are you in the stillness? Well, just be still and hold your breath. And now relax. And as you breathe in again, breathe in the love of your God. Breathe in the peace of your God. breathe in all that is sacred to you and just sense the peace and the love of your God. And as you relax in the presence of God, use the greatest gift that God has given to you, the gift of free will, the gift of choosing the right choice, the gift of knowing that in your being that you are loved. You may not be loved by family and friends on this earth plane. They may despise you, even reject you, for daring to be different. And in that difference, you find your true self. But in finding your true self, something needs to happen. We have to come to that place where we are willing to surrender ownership of our life, to surrender the control of our life, and in so doing, face our fear, face the demons that haunt us, to face our true self. And sometimes that means having one's ego, one's self-image broken in order that we can be made whole again. For unless we are broken in our egoic self, then we can never experience the spiritual wholeness and spiritual wellness that is there waiting for us. So out of the chaos comes God's love. Out of the drama, the story can be told, and you can find who you are if you're willing to trust that inner voice within you. Or are you afraid? Are you afraid to allow yourself be that little child again? To be held in a mother's arms? Are you afraid to receive the Divine Mother's love for you? Let us relax now. Let us come to that place of love. And let there be no fear. Let there be no fear whatsoever in your life. The great Dalai Lama says this: if inside you possess good qualities such as compassion or spiritual forgiveness, then external factors will not affect the internal peace of your mind. He also talks about kindness bringing about peace. And he says, with kindness, with love, with compassion, with this feeling that is the essence of brotherhood, sisterhood, one will have inner peace. So listen to this piece of music and let the divine speak to you.
How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Just relax now and allow your heart embrace the essence of God, who is love, speaking to you. In the words of Shannon All, how could anyone ever tell you you are not beautiful? Be still now and embrace your goodness and your divinity.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
The words say it all, don't they? How could anyone ever tell you you are not beautiful? And yet, I have to be honest. I guess I spent most of my life convincing myself that I was not beautiful, because the inner voices that were in control of my life were fueled by fear. fear of God, low self-worth, low self-esteem. Even though I was the eldest son of 9 siblings, but I never ever felt loved, ever, until I had my breakthrough. A time in the wilderness, a time of soul searching. And through my illness 16 years ago, where I was broken in my mind, in my ego, something happened. My head and the inner voices that were not of God, that I thought were of God, were putting me down all the time and doubting the word of God. And that sadly created a complacency, an indifference. But through the illness and learning to walk again, learning to trust again, and learning to be more respectful to the inner voice of spirit, and also learning to be courageous, to have courage, and to say no to those who would use me to be a person pleaser. They had no respect clearly for me. All they wanted was the favors that I could give. So let us use this time now wisely. Let us try and see what God sees. God doesn't see a bad child, an evil child. The Father, Mother God only sees beauty, grace, love. So let us now relax and be mindful of that flickering flame, which for me symbolizes the presence of God. That no matter how I feel, but feeling does not portray God. And one shouldn't rely on feelings in one's journey with God. Because if you feel off color, off centered, not in a good place, and those feelings persisted from one day to the following week, to the following month, then we've denied ourselves a wonderful opportunity of being able to listen to God speak to us through our chaos, through our brokenness, through our discouragement, through our unhappiness, even through broken relationships. So let us now relax and let us give ourselves permission to be ourselves, to be the person God created, not to be that fictitious friend or that other person that we want others to see. Let us be true to our heart and let us bring to God those areas in our life that need healing, the need to be needed, the internal struggles that seek the approval of men rather than of God. For Jesus said, what does it profit a man or a woman to gain the world, to gain all the status that this world could give, the prestige, the accolades, the degrees from university at the expense of losing your soul. What does it profit us? Why do we worry so about what others think of us when God accepts us as we are, whether we're tall or short, whether we're thin or whether we're fat, whether we have hair or whether we are bald, whether we have teeth or dentures? It doesn't matter. What matters is putting right, with God's help, the wrongs that we have committed against ourselves, the violations that we are guilty of towards ourselves. So let us now come as we are. Because if God accepts us as we are and loves us for who we are, then how can we betray that? By pretending to be what we are not. Let us now embrace our true self. Let us love that part of us that we run away from. Let us respect the life that God has given to us, the divine life, the gifts of the Spirit, the gifts of embracing solitude and silence, so that we can listen to the voice of God. I want you to relax now, and I want you to see yourself where you are in your own room, and visualize all the lovely things that are in your room. They are gifts from God. And if you have any pets, I want you to allow them come near you, to bring their gift to you. Their gift is unconditional love, and they give it freely. So receive it. And now use your gift of free will. And let us call on the Christ to come to you. We could say, "Come, my beloved. You have searched for me on the highways and on the byways, and I have turned the other way and gone on my own path that has introduced me to chaos, to unhappiness. But now I surrender to your love. Will you help me? Will you help me reclaim what you put inside me, your spirit of love? Will you help me see what you see, to hear your inner voice, to respect that voice, to nurture that voice, to become that inner voice? And as you sit quietly, be aware of your feet. Be aware of the love that Mother Earth has for you. Receive her blessing now, up through your feet, your bare feet, touching the sacred earth. And now look in front of you, right beside your candle, and now see the face of the Christ who's looking at you. He's looking at you with such love. There is no condemnation as he looks at you. There is only love. And he's calling you, come to me. Come to me, all you who labor and who are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart. Feel the presence of the Christ. He is real. He's as real as the nose on your face, and his hands are reaching out to touch you. His hands are reaching out to bless you. And he awaits your response. He doesn't force you to do anything that would compromise your divinity, but he waits, and he waits, and he will go on waiting until you have said, yes, Lord, I love you. Yes, Lord, I need you. Yes, Lord, I desire you. Come into my life and empower me. Take back my power from those who have wronged me, from those who have no respect for me, from those who abuse my gifts of love. Come, my beloved God. Allow me hear you. Allow me sense right now what you are saying. For I desperately search for you. I desperately yearn to hear your voice, a voice that will guide me well, a voice that will not condemn me, but embrace me. And as you sit quietly, you sense the peace of God. You sense the love of your God, and he is touching you. He is caressing your spirit with love. Nurture that love through making time to be still in the presence of God. Embrace that peace, for that is God. Embrace all that you are as a child of God.